Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Squires, and I want to say that I'm so grateful to Bonfoys for showing these 4 works. There's one in the front window. I'm just delighted, and I'm delighted with this whole wall and the whole show. The show is, it's a mighty show. It's really an amazing show, both in content and in numbers of people showing here. So thanks, Bonfoys. You did a great job. You really did a great job. So I want to tell you that I'm really concerned. My main issue is clean water because we live on Lake Erie. I think we all need to take a little responsibility for keeping our environment, which is our lake, particularly here, free of algae bloom, which are caused by the farm runoff. And with our current situation politically, we need to be particularly vigilant because they're cutting back things and we don't want that to happen. So I want to encourage everyone to look into that and speak up and put your money there too. So my work has always been about growth forms, germination, the landscape, our natural environment, the cosmos, or I should say a cosmic perspective, which I feel we need to have to understand who we really are. And that all leads to the path of the soul. So I'm thinking about these things often. And I want to say that in these works, I went in April of 2019, I went to New York City to see the Hilma Offklint show. And I spent a day there with her and her work. I had known her work before, from the Venice Biennale in 2013, but Hilma was a woman who painted in the early 1900s. She preceded Kandinsky, who is said to be the father of abstraction. Well, now we have a mother of abstraction, and we're going to have to change the history books. And so I was so taken with that. When I came home, I started this, thinking that I wanted to use this linear form that I could put my ideas on. So the first one, to me, it seems to be about spring and germination. And it suggests volume while really being flat. And all these that happens with, I am really interested in some issues that are kind of dichotomies. And in each one of these, maybe it's a little bit different, but this one and this one seem to have, as actually Phyllis mentioned today, a kind of rotational movement, which is kind of fascinating, I think. This one, not so much, but anyway. So I'm always interested in holding 2 seemingly contradictory ideas in one space. The second one, this one, in the middle, I call Iron Water. And it's about how we are really truly a part of nature and how our relationship with water is so vital because we're 60% water ourselves, and life begins in the oceans. So I feel that it talks about the one and the many. That's kind of what I kind of sometimes have a concept in my mind when I start painting, and that was what I was thinking about. And the third one is in the window. It's called As Above, So Below. And we took a trip to India and visited the Great Rann of Kutch, which dries up in October. We were there in October, so we were walking across this vast expanse, and we saw infinity in front of us. We really did. So I was thinking about the immensity and the infinite space and the transformation and transfiguration. So I was using the same form, but it's a very different kind of experience. The texture on the surface is oil slick, and when it was wet, I kind of used a tool to line it a little bit. And then I scraped away the lines where these are solid, those are kind of scraped away. This is called Hanging in the Pond, and hanging in / the pond, not hanging in the pond, but hanging in. And the reason it's called Hanging In because I started it before I went to India in December and finished it probably in April. We were in the middle of the pandemic, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I let it go and I went on to some other things. And then all of a sudden I resolved, and it was mainly the, the ground that I was working on, which finally set off the vibration which that center image can float in. I'm thinking about shallow and deep, and looking into, and form and line. So thanks, Bonfoys. You did a great job.